Hey guys, Rockingtheblade here once again. What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to my movie review of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Now, normally this is the part I would say, and I'll write in the description too. Normally, like, well, why I see Star Wars with spoilers? Usually you don't, you do non-spoiler stuff. But today, they kind of like to really understand, just to really understand how I feel about this movie. This is going to have spoilers in it, so if you haven't seen the movie, which everyone's seeing right now, but for some reason you haven't seen it yet because it's being sold out, which I understand, because, heck, the one I went to the 7 o'clock Thursday showing, that's sold out, so I understand. Click away, go see the movie, then come back to hear my thoughts, because this will be with heavy spoilers, so you have been warned. So, how do I feel about it? It's funny, because, like, when I saw Justice League, I really enjoyed it. I think it's probably one of my favorite films of the year. And even after sitting about it and thinking about it, it still had great thoughts. It still had that great thoughts and high and like all the amazing moments and fun moments about it with Justice League. I had a great time with it, and just remember all the fun and cool moments, and it was just a great time. Star Wars, it was like, oh my god, it was so great and all this stuff. But then as I sat down and really think about it, then I noticed flaws, I noticed things, and how things were handled, and ultimately, it was still a good Star Wars movie. Let me make that perfectly clear. I still think it's a good Star Wars movie, but to say it's better than Empire Strikes Back, or my favorite, Return of the Jedi, no, I don't think so. But overall, it's still good. But let me get into why I feel it's good. It's good, but not garbage. And it's crazy because I was thinking, like, oh my god, am I going crazy thinking this way? Saying I don't like outright I don't hate it, but I don't outright love it like I thought I was. Like, so I talked to my editor Koopa, who does my editing on YouTube, and we talked about it, and he understands my concerns. He relatively enjoyed it. He thought it was great. He relatively enjoyed it, but he understands and even respects what I had to say. But so I'm like, but still, it's like I want to hear, so I want to hear like other people's opinions. And then, granted, they're kind of harsh, but they had the criticism I had. Monday Matt didn't care for it. He said it was mediocre. Mr. Repsion, he didn't care for it. Angry Joe, it's by the time this video comes out, it'll probably be out already. He's going to do a top 22 reasons or top 22 things he didn't like in Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and I'm like. Because at first it was an 8, then when he sat back and thought about it, and it bumped out to a 7, then a 6, and now he doesn't even know anymore, according to like his Twitter comment. So that by the time you probably know what it is by the time if it's even out yet or not. But point is, like, there's people with conflicting emotions about it. Hell, even Walter Wenesiak, the guy who works on Channel Awesome, even he was like, he saw it, but he needed time to process it. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with me. I saw it on Thursday, and yeah, it's because I had to think about it yesterday and today. I had like 2 days worth to really think about it. And ultimately, so now I feel like now I'm comfortable in making this decision to do this review. And basically, it's about the rebels escaping and from the Jedi, because they figured from not Jedi, but the First Order, they figured out where they were, so they're trying to escape. Poe's doing like shooting out all the cannons so that way they could bomb this shit that's chasing them. Unfortunately, a lot of bombers die. Only one bomber get through, but this particular bomber is very important. The one that managed to crash the ship, and I'll get into that later. So then, it goes into like, Rey finally, meeting Luke, and it's funny because the first thing he does, he grabs a lightsaber and he just throws it. I'm like. I was what? Like, I was not expecting that. I was like caught off guard, and he didn't want to train her, and he, of course, eventually something bad. Obviously, something bad happened for him to do this. He was just basically there just to die. He felt like he failed, but you later found out as the movie goes on what happened and why he feels this way. And of course, Leia's upset at Poe for doing. Not leaving, getting a lot of people killed because they only like him and three or four other ships survived the initial assault. So she demoted him for getting a whole bunch of people killed. And then then all of a sudden they were still being tracked and chased. And Kylo Ren got a scolding from Snow like, "Oh, you're weak and shit." And Kylo Ren just destroyed his helmet. And then he leads like the attack, and he senses where his mom was, and he was going to shoot her, but then he just hesitates and he just couldn't do it. But then you see that whole area gets blown up and killed. It gets blown up, and like she goes into space, and you think she's dead. And I was like in shock. I'm like, did they just kill her? Did they just kill Princess Leia? It was like a shock thing. Like, oh, why did they just kill her? You know, they just killed her. It was like unlike with Han and you know, unlike with Han, you know, there was like build up to it. So when it happened, it was that shock factor. But here it's just like it just happened. It just happened so fast. You're like, what? But then like here's the first flaw of the movie. She somehow like pulled herself back into the ship, and she was like gonna come over for like a day, so a new person had to take over and stuff. And then but it's like, okay, how did that happen? The movie, like, you're thinking, oh, the movie's gonna explain at some point how she was in tune with the Force and how she was able to, like, there's nothing wrong being in tune with the Force, but that's something like that takes like Jedi training to do what she did. And then the movie never explains like, oh, at one point Luke trained her to do that, and like that was never explained in the movie. So like that's the first flaw. And it was weird. It was a goofy but yet cool moment. It was it's weird. Like it was like, oh shit, but like, okay, are they gonna explain this? And they don't. So it was like, okay, hoping maybe in the sequel they will, but let's wait and see. So then, yeah, she gets, the new person takes over. She doesn't like Poe. Finn was trying to escape because he wakes up from his coma. Thankfully, he's fully healed. They just trying to figure out what was Rey. And then like it felt like they're being tracked through space somehow, through hyperspace, through a tracking thing on the ship. And you first think, oh, because Finn was with the First Order, maybe he had something on him, but no. I forgot what it was. Like something they somehow able to track through hyperspace. They have a new like advanced system where they can do that now, which is crazy, but okay. And this character named Rose was like stunning people who was trying to escape, and she stunned Finn because he was trying to escape. But not, I mean, it was escape / trying like warn Rey to, you know. But then like they figured out what was going on, and they decided to go on a mission like to find this, you know, maybe a code cracker who can like do it. But then like the one girl, I forget her, the one like alien girl from like Force Awakens, the one I liked at Chewbacca. I forget her name. Funny enough, they were like having like a union dispute because apparently she was in the middle of a gun. She was in the middle of a gunfight while talking to Finn and Poe and Rose. Oh, which by the way, Rose is the sister of the girl who died, who was like the last bomb in the man to destroy the ship, but she died. Because she had like a you know, I guess a symbol, a necklace to remember, you know, to remember each other by, and she had, it was kind of like a yin and yang kind of thing, because she had one half and she had the other kind of thing. So yeah, and then you know, there's a guy on this like town who there's a guy in this town who can like do it. Look for this like red like symbol thing here, foreign stuff, and he can help you out and crack this thing. So they go, Finn and Rose sneakily get off while Poe distracts, and like, you know, they're trying to send like ships to like they're trying to send ships after the Empire, but they're destroying them. Meanwhile, going back to Rey and Luke, eventually Luke was very hesitant, but then like R2-D2 showed like old footage of like you know, when like Princess Leia was like, help me, whole footage of help me Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope from like A New Hope, and like that's a cheap shot. And basically, you know, he's kind of trained her and stuff, and like she's learned the ways of the Force and stuff, and then eventually, you know, you figure out like what happened. And then somehow they were like Rey and Rey and like Kylo were able to like do force connection so they could see each other where they're at. It's just weird, and able to communicate with each other and just. And you know, like eventually it brought up like what happened that. It eventually got to a point where like in the conversation, like what happened that day and why he left. Apparently, Luke was gonna strike down Kylo Ren because he sensed this evil and hatred in him, and he's gonna strike him down. But then he realized he shouldn't do that. But then Kylo sees the sword. He thought the wars he wanted to defend himself, and he thought he killed him in the rubble. So then, and apparently, he killed some Jedi and escaped with some other young like Jedi kids and escaped off planet, which is another flaw that's brought up. Then it never explains like what he did with those people, with those young Jedi. That was never explained. They go and eventually go back to Finn and Rose. They go there, but eventually they get thrown in jail because they parked in like no parking area. And another famous actor, I forget his name, and I feel bad for not knowing it because he's a good actor. You know, the other guy got the Rose thing on it, but he was just as good as a cracker because he just like, you want to hire you guys here, and you want you to cracker, I can do your job. I was like, nah, we're good. And he was like, okay. He's like, he had this like the special like thing he made, and opened the locked door like it was like all good, and just escaped. And like and then like it's kind of a plan too, where like these rich folks were profiting off selling like, you know, weapons to both the rebels and the Empire. It's one of those like rich kind of plans because they were like in a casino before they got caught. And by the way, BB-8 was with them as well and trying to like help them with the mission as well, just to throw it out there. Because then and then you see these and like they're like I guess you could say a horse carriage area, but except it's like it's these alien like horses you can say. And his little boy was like press a button, was supposed to press a button, like they let the alarm, like no, please don't. And Rose was like, please don't, we're rebels. And it was like a little like ring when it twisted, it showed like the rebel symbol. And that boy is a very is that boy that Rose was talking to was very important, which I'll get into at the end of the video, which you'll know why it's a big significance. So then they cause a big riot and managed to escape. Luckily, you know, they try to get back to their ship. Unfortunately, got destroyed. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it got destroyed. And then, but luckily, the thief that got out, he hijacked the ship with BB-8. So they went to go to Rebels. Meanwhile, like, Poe just started an uprising against this new leader this new girl that took over for Leia, because Leia was kind of in a little mini coma. She took over, and he liked what she was doing. Like, are you like telling us to abandon the ship? You know what I'm saying? It is unbelievable. You know, like Poe started an uprising and like trying to like buy time for, you know, Finn and like Rose. But like you know, so like that's happening. So they try to go to head towards to the ship. They did some hacking demands again to the ship, so like Leia can like, you know, do, you know, things that they disable the trackers so they can escape. Meanwhile, you know, Finn, you know, Rey's, you know, doing some more training. She goes to this weird tunnel, and like she can like see multiple versions of herself. It's like it's a weird thing. And then like eventually she senses they're in trouble. So eventually at one point she does leave, and then like Luke is like, he trains her, but he's like, he basically tells her, you know, throughout he felt Ben and why he wanted to kill himself. He's like, no, you haven't failed. Ben has failed you, and you know, and you know, they shouldn't feel bad, and you know, saying, you know, you were just like feeling, you just like, you know, what happened with Kylo. I know it was your fault in a way, but at the same time, like you did everything with good intentions, but you know, but still, you shouldn't be too hard on yourself because ultimately you're a legend. And then, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, eventually Luke realizes he's right. Rey, you know, and then Luke, you know, I guess needed to hear that, you know, from someone, you know, a good positive reinforcement. And then, like, he's gonna, like, destroy the old text, and then, like, you see a cameo from, like, the Jim Henson, Obi-Wan, not Obi-Wan, but, Yoda, and that was really cool with the original voice actor. That he did Yoda from Empire and Return of the Jedi, so that was very nostalgic, and he looked amazing too. Like, it's like, it was cool seeing Yoda. I was like, that was awesome. See, so that's a good thing too. So then, Eventually, what she decides to do. Oh, the reason why Rey leaves, because she felt like she was trying to leave because she completed the training, training, and she feels like through talking with Kylo that he can turn into the good side. And because she's trying to go there to turn him, and so she goes and turns herself into the ship where Finn and Rose and the thief and Baby Yoda are at as well. So they're all in this the big galactic ship, and then Snoke is like showing like why he is the Emperor. He's like, she trying to grab the lightsaber from him. He's grabbing it back. He's like slapping her, just throwing her around, just doing whatever she wants to Rey, showing like, holy shit, he's a big threat. But then you see Kylo turn the saber on him and kills him. That's right, Snoke dies. So they build them up for nothing. And granted, what follows next was them, Rey and Kylo having an epic like lightsaber team up thing, which was really, really cool. That was really cool to see. But then you're thinking, holy shit, Kylo's gonna be a good guy now, right? Nope. He still wants to just abandon the First Order and the Rebels and just start anew, but he wanted her as a partner, and he's like, please don't do this. And like, she was resistant, and like you see her and Kylo fight for the saber, and like, and then at one point while what's his name, what was it? Oh, the thief that was with them, he they're like trying to like hack the thing, but eventually they got caught. Because eventually I think when the little there's a Empire BB-8, and I guess he knows like, because they put BB-8 in his trash can because all in disguises. But I guess the BB-8 knows like, hey, that's not on the bus. So, and also he sold out the guy that helped them, that was their hacker, sold them out, and like told them like, oh, their plan was, oh, they're just to pretend to be on the big ship, but to escape on these little pods, but they're untrackable. So that's why they were like able to like to kind of sneak away as they're going towards this planet, or this new rebel planet, toward like this new rebel planet that there's no rebels there, but like it's heavily armored, so they can defend themselves until backup comes. So that was their plan. But unfortunately, one of them has to stay in the ships, and eventually, at one point, Leia does wake up from a coma. She force pushes a door. Again, it's explaining these Jedi powers that was never explained. Force pushes the door down and stun gun, and uses the original gun she used from New Hope, and uses the stun gun and just stun, put it on stun and stuns the crap out of Poe. But then they went on escape pods while the new leaders decided to stay on the ship, and then she realized that the new leader, she has purple hair, by the way. I forgot their character's name, but she started to realize that they're attacking their little escape pod ships. So then she decides to just ram, and just when thought Finn and Rose were gonna die, and you see them all, and Kylo Ren and Rose were struggling. She just like going light speeds. Because they had like enough fuel to light speed, but they was like saving it. She light speed right into the ship and just like it cracked everything up. So if you guys are wondering what will happen if a big ship and another big ship with a light speed at the same time, what will happen? The movie showed what will happen, and it was like an epic display. It was like a 5-10 second shot of like the ship getting ripped apart because of the effects. It was like, whoa, she sacrificed herself so they can say he's gonna get out of there. And luckily Rey had to slip away. Finn and Rose were saved because of that. But then like it was a destruction. They're trying to leave on the ship, but then the stormtroopers with Captain Plasma by the by was there. But then then like, you think, oh man, they're gonna die, and all of a sudden you see BB-8 on like a AT, like the little AT walker thing, the mini one, and just he hacked and he started shooting them, the stormtroopers. And Finn, my boy Finn, who I love from Force Awakens, had an epic little like duel with Captain Plasma. And you think he dies, and he comes up and just like uppercuts Plasma, and she falls to her death. So yeah, even though she died, at least she did something, because she was like kind of wasted in Force Awakens, but at least in Last Jedi she went out like a badass, unlike Snoke, who was like built up to be a badass, but then just did his jobs. And then so they managed to escape, they managed to escape, and they managed to all escape, and then finally there's this new plan. They're trying to hold off, so that they know the Empire knows they're there, and they're trying to hold them off as best they can. Oh, by the way, Luke was on Hopefully why Luke decided to trade Rey, because of the whole projection thing that R2-D2 showed him, because he won the Millennium Falcon and he found his golden dice, which he later gives Leia, like later on as the video goes on, as I tell you about it. I don't know the important significance of it, but I guess when they do the Solo, a Star Wars story film, directed by Ron Howard, by the way, they'll like tie into like how much important significance it is. So probably later find out how important it is. So then they're trying to hold off in these dinky little ships. They're doing the best they can, but they're getting creamed. And like Poe realized the same thing's happening like it did in the beginning of the movie, like him like trying to attack that big ship in space. He saw his, his people were like dying. He's like, pull back. We gotta pull back. And like Finn, cause I guess the reason why he just kept going, going towards it, because they got like this big can like rammed out, because they were like in like this steel like base with a steel door, and they got this giant like cannon to like basically just blast it open with these new advanced AT-ATs. It's like these big buffy ones. The AT-ATs weren't something. There's these big like, buffer versions of them. It was like same thing to watch. I was like, whoa, did they gotta upgrade? So you think, oh my god, they're gonna kill Finn. I'm like, no, please don't kill him. Please, Cookie, you should see him. And I guess part of the reason why he did that too, because Rose kind of on him a little bit for he's considering him a coward for trying to escape the ship. Even though these rebels are trying to fight for their lives to stop the Empire. And like Rose is telling Finn to turn back, he just kept going. He's going to sacrifice him. And Rose, last second, managed to save Finn. She's knocked unconscious. What it looks like, and like, why'd you do that? He's like, basically saying, that she grew to like Finn, and like, she lost her sister. She didn't want to lose someone else she cared for about, and she actually kissed Finn. So good on Finn. He gets unliked it, and like she kissed Finn, and she kind of passed out. But Finn had to carry her back into the base. And all of a sudden, Luke shows up, and like he's like, Luke shows up, and he looks much younger somehow, which I'll explain to him what happens. So then he goes towards Kylo Ren, and he sees the army, and he's like, and Kylo Ren's like angry. But before that though, before Luke shows up and does that, like how another way that they were like holding off like the way they were holding him off was Rey and Chewbacca showed up in the Millennium Falcon, which is really cool. And Kylo Ren was angry, like, all your people, focus your firepower on that ship, because reminded him of his dad. Oh no, by the by, Kylo Ren kind of took over since Snoke died. The old like general guy was like, I ain't having it, and he force choked him like, you gonna like the idea of him leader now? I was like, and the guy's like, okay, all right, you're the leader, Kylo. So yeah, I forgot about that part, guys. Sorry, but yeah, but that's what happened. You're wondering why he took over. If you're wondering, well, why is he leader now? Because since Snoke died, he needed a leader. He assumed command, and the guy wasn't with it, but he force choked him. Like, no, he gonna like it. He's like, okay. So anyway, he's all like, everyone take down that ship. You know what I'm saying? And like they go into this crystal area. So cool. And yeah, they're going to the crystal areas, like kind of like these red crystals there to dodge them and stuff. By the way, it was not like at one point, then just crystal. And then after that, Luke shows up, holding on the Empire. Like you see, Kylo Ren tells the people to fire all your lasers at Luke. Luke kind of just shrugs it off, like he didn't get hit because you think he died, but he didn't. And he's kind of like holding him off. He's like, oh no, he's buying his time. But then before in the beginning, when they first entered the base, they were like they were entering the base. Fun fact, because they were like shooting at Finn and Rose because they kind of jacked the ship. And we're like, no, we're not, we're Empire, it's us, because remember the whole like at their plasma they jacked an Empire and shit because all they had Empire stuff, so they thought the Empire was coming, but then they ran in and like they were like shooting, and like no, it's us, but like earlier, before that happened, as that was happening, there was these little golden like crystal foxes, which look amazing by the way, that were in the that were going inside the base that they were at. And Finn was like, where are the foxes? And he knows like one, like a little one, like like going towards this area. Like, let's follow it, because when animals sense danger, they tend to run away from it. So like, okay, let's follow the fox. But then so they follow the fox, and unfortunately blocked by boulders. But I guess Rey somehow sensed that were there, and she used the force to like open, like to push the rocks away and open them, so they can escape on the Millennium Falcon. So Luke's holding him off, and then you realize Luke's not really there. It was a projection, force projection. But then afterwards, he disappears, and Kylo Ren gets upset because he realizes he got duped, and like everyone escapes. So like, and then Luke kind of like clutches his sides, looks into the sunset. Then he just disappears, meaning that he died. In my opinion, they just wasted his death. I was like, what? Then he dies. They all felt that he died. Because they were calling, by the way, no one came, and what do we do? What do we do now? Like, well, we just do the best we can what we have. Leia was telling Rey. And by the way, when Finn saw Rey, they hugged each other, like passionate. They missed each other because they were best buds from Force Awakens. Finn put like Rose in his bed and put her blanket over and watching over her and stuff, and then it cuts to back to that one planet where all the rich air people were at, and he sees one kid telling the story of Luke fighting Jabba the Hutt to save Han Solo, and there's one angry guy's like, "Oh, get back to work," because it's like a slave planet, and whatnot. And this one kid went to grab a broom, but he instead of me grabbing it like I did just here, he used the force to grab it. He used the force to grab the broom. So apparently that kid's a Jedi as well. And you see him look up to the moon, and he sees a ship going into light speed, and then the movie cuts away. And that's the end of that was the whole movie of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. So ultimately, it was good, but it has a lot of problems. Like I mentioned before, like Snoke being built up for nothing. What happened? Okay, what's up with Princess Leia using when she started learn Force powers? In my opinion, and Snoke dying, they wasted Luke's death. I mean, I know they're slowly phasing out the old heroes for Rey and Finn, Poe, the new heroes for the next generation. But it's like, what? Seriously? It was like, what? It's like, that's it? Oh yeah, I mentioned before that the thief guy, I think I'm just reiterating, I think I mentioned before about the thief guy that was helping them. He turned on them, that's why they were that's why we should have basically, the new leader had to ram the ship. I probably mentioned it right, but just in case I didn't. But overall, it's just that was like the main one, was what? Seriously? You know what I mean? Like, that's it? Because with Batman vs Superman, when Superman died, I was in shock. I felt it. And after the third viewing, I cried. Because I realized, oh my god, Superman's dead. This is it. He actually did it. He did. I think, they're not gonna kill him. And when they did, I was like, I was in shock. I was like, no way, my mouth just hit the floor. And it was floored the whole time. I couldn't believe it. And then, but at least in my opinion, it wasn't wasted. Just the forming of the Justice League. But Luke just clenches his stomach, looks at the sun, and just dies. He didn't die protecting. I was hoping. I wish he'd fought Kylo Ren. He died while holding him off, or at least live to the next episode, or from the die protecting Rey. Something more badass. You know what I'm saying? Something not just like him casually Matrix dodging the lightsabers. I mean, it was cool, but I want Luke show off more of his skills and show why he is the master and Kylo Ren's only the student. But we never really got that, sadly. So that's why, I think Star Wars: The Last Jedi is a good film, but it's not great. It's a lot, and apparently I'm not the only one that feels this way. In fact, it has a 53% likes on Rotten Tomatoes. With the spilled popcorn, it's screaming like people don't like it, whereas a 93% rating on from critics, where on Justice League as a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, but he has an 80%, no 80 to, yeah 80% like audience like it on Justice League, which is like you told me like, oh yeah, the people's rating score, they're liking more than Star Wars. I want to tell you, you're crazy. It would either be the same. It would be like no lower than 85% like or on up. It wouldn't have been like as low as 80. It would have been like higher. But the fact it's only like that low shows how divisive this is. Critics love it, but fans just say it's mediocre, and that's crazy. Like I said before, I'm not the only one that feels that way. Matt didn't like it. Repsion didn't like it. Joe's doing like a 22 things that he didn't like about the movie. So yeah. All right, guys. There's my thoughts on the video. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. You think I'm crazy? You think I'm wrong for thinking this way? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section below. I always read them. I just want to hear your thoughts on the matter. Did you see it? Did you like it? Do you think I'm crazy for thinking this way? Or do you agree, disagree? Please let me know. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the matter. I really, really want to hear your guys' thoughts on the matter. Because I'm just like, after sitting on it for 2 days, here's my review on it. It's still good. It's not the death of Star Wars. I wouldn't go that far, because people saying it's the death of Star Wars is worse than Fanmeds. Whoa now. First of all, if you want to toss out the worst Star Wars movie, that's Attack of the Clones #1. Secondly, it's nowhere near as bad as Phantom Menace. Nowhere near as bad. Heck, I even go to say Last Jedi is better than Rogue One, but not as good as Force Awakens or the original trilogy. This is my opinion. But still, it's a good Star Wars film. It's not great, but it's still good. It's a good watch. And the reason why it still, despite its flaws, it didn't rely on like, yeah, it had this nostalgic moments and stuff like that. But like it told a new story. It didn't rely like an old like. It didn't use like Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back plot. It told an original new Star Wars story with with people's doubts, hopes, and dreams and all that stuff woven in. And it was nice. It was very complex. People are comparing the VBS to like complexity and story, and I agree. I mean, that's why people aren't as a bigger fan of it as the other Star Wars movies in comparison. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you guys thoughts about it. I really want to hear it. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this. However you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to rate, comment, subscribe. As always, Rockingtheblade signing out. Hope to see you guys again real soon. Peace out. Have a happy holidays, and yeah. It's gonna be very interesting few days to see how people react to Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Alright guys. Peace out.